What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to look at the claim that Quickdraw is not working properly in COD World War II. I've been seeing a lot of complaints on Reddit, as well as a few videos that have been linked to me saying that Quickdraw is broken, the attachment needs to be fixed, and there's something wrong with it. And basically what's going on here is Quickdraw is working just fine if you're not sprinting. If you're not sprinting and you go to aim down sight, you do aim down sight a little bit faster. I haven't done all the testing on this yet. I will be doing all the testing for all the guns to see just how effective Quickdraw is. But when you're not sprinting, it seems to work just fine. The problem is, when you're sprinting and then you break your sprint by aiming down sight, Quickdraw is useless in this case, and it appears to be not working at all. So when you come out of sprint by aiming down sight with Quickdraw, you get the exact same results as if you didn't have Quickdraw equipped. Now the first I saw of this, I'll give credit where credit's due here, the first I saw of this was from a guy called Argon. I will leave a link to the original video in the description below. But it turns out this isn't actually an issue with the Quickdraw attachment itself, and it's nothing new for Call of Duty. The real issue here is our sprint out times. Now I know on this channel I talk about sprint out time a lot, but that's because it's such an important mechanic, especially when you're talking about the pacing of a game. For those of you guys that don't understand what sprint out is, a lot of people have been asking me about this. Sprint out is the delay between sprinting and being able to fire your gun. So as you're sprinting, when you pull the trigger, it's the amount of time it takes from when you pull that trigger to when your gun actually goes off. Now the way Call of Duty works, and the way that it's always worked as far as I'm aware, is if you break your sprint by aiming down sight and then you're trying to also fire at your enemy, so what most people will do is they try to aim and then as they're aiming they try to start firing, aim down sight time and sprint out time happen simultaneously. They start at the same time, but if your sprint out time is greater than your aim down sight time, it will extend the animation for your aim down sight time to match the sprint out time. And this kind of does make sense. It would be really jarring if you could aim down sight immediately after sprinting and then you'd be pulling the trigger and nothing would happen until that sprint out time completes. That would be a really weird experience. It would definitely feel off if that were the case. So it does make sense that this animation does extend to match the sprint out time, but it does render the Quickdraw attachment useless unless you're walking around. Now, like I said earlier, this is nothing new to Call of Duty, but it hasn't really been brought up and it hasn't really been an issue in previous Call of Duty games, or at least the recent ones, because we either have a faster base sprint out time than we currently have in the COD World War II beta, or we at least have an option to reduce that sprint out time. So like Fast Hands in Black Ops 3, or Gung Ho in Infinite Warfare, or Dexterity back in Black Ops 2, there's always been that way to reduce our sprint out time, and therefore this issue hasn't really been noticeable. But if you do go back to Black Ops 3 for instance, and you make a class with Quickdraw and no Fast Hands, you'll see this exact same issue. And also I wanted to point out, the reason we didn't see this back in the day when we had a slow sprint out time in Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare Remastered, is we didn't have Quickdraw in that game, so therefore our aim down sight time and our sprint out times were pretty much always the same. So to me at least, this is just another thing that piles on top of the evidence that suggests that we need a slightly faster base sprint out time in this game. Now I completely understand the other side of this. When you have an instant sprint out time or no sprint out time, kind of like Infinite Warfare, our sprint out times were basically non-existent, then it really rewards the aggressive players and it punishes people for playing tactically or slowly and methodically and moving around the map. And that is a certain playstyle that some people want preserved. I totally understand that, and that's why I'm saying we shouldn't eliminate sprint out time, it just needs to be lowered slightly. My suggestion to start would be to reduce our base sprint out time to equal the aim down sight time with Quickdraw for the particular class. So if you take an SMG and you find out the Quickdraw aim down sight time, make that the base sprint out time. That way, if you're using Quickdraw, you can actually take advantage of it while you're on the move, like you should be able to, but there's still going to be a sprint out time there, and therefore it doesn't completely eliminate that tactical play that a lot of the other players are looking for. I think we need to find a balance when it comes to sprint out time here, and that seems like it would be a good fit. That's just my opinion though. I'd like to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me here? Do you think they should reduce that sprint out time a little bit? Do you think they should go even more extreme with it and pretty much eliminate sprint out time? Or are you on the other side of it and you think it should be exactly the way it is now? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.